on the Wado Radio Show.
Yes, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music. It's ministry. And have some special guests on the line, man. They got the hottest album out right now, in my opinion. Social Club Misfits is with us, man. What's up, fellas?
Hey, what's going on, yo? Hello out there. How y'all doing? What's up, Wado?
Man, good, brother. Good, man. Good.
I always feel like this is the basement. I always feel like this is the equivalent for us of basement. Rap City.
Yo, we need a pool.
Man.
Look, so we need a pool table in here. If we're gonna do all that, we need a pool table and a booth.
And a black light. For some reason, always the black light popping.
They did have a black light in the booth. They did have a black light, man. But yo, I'm definitely humbled by that, man. Man, what's up? What's been up with you guys, man? I was telling y'all before we went on the air. I feel like this new album is like amazing. You know what I mean? Like it really has that classic Social Club feel to it.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. I mean, this is the first album me and Fern really worked on as a team. Like in the studio, making the beats with being there. Really everything was intentional.
Yep.
From every verse to every production value, anything that happened. So it was really an album that we felt like we were proud of. We tried to experiment a lot in this album while still having the classic Social Club sound. And I think the two things we really wanted to prove was, if we sign to a major label, like, first off, the message won't change. That's
sure.
The first thing. We're not going to change who we are. We've gone this far. We're still doing what we want to do. And then the second thing is we try to put some more songs that with just some bigger songs that we've never really tried before. Stuff like Love for Real.
Yep.
And How Good. We experimented with some like new sounds, new types of music. This is our 10th album. So it's almost like, what are you doing your 10th album? And for us, it's almost like, let's just start, going creatively into new directions just to see where it takes us. And I think it paid off because I like the experimental stuff. I like what we're doing, and I'm just excited that this album came out the way it did. It's really what we wanted to put out. There's nothing that I wish we could go back and say, I wish we changed this. It's like perfectly what we wanted. So really excited about it.
Yeah, okay. So I have an honest moment right here. I was a little concerned when you guys dropped the EP because it felt so different from what you guys had done in the past, and that was the first release on the major label. And I was like, are these guys totally going in a whole different direction now that they've got a different platform? So this was real refreshing.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny, me and Fern always talk about it. Like, the Misfits generation was a lot of B-sides that we had that we just had,
Yep.
It was, Courage was like, we made that was split, but then everything else was just very much, we just had those, and we wanted to put them out. We didn't know of a good time to put them out. It was just kind of just songs that we like to listen to, and I think that in retrospect, everything worked out the way that God wanted it to work out. I think
sure.
If we would have dropped this album first, I don't know if it would have, like the certain songs, I don't know if they would have been there and landed on the album. But I feel like everything happened for a reason. I think that it was definitely a learning experience. And I'll be honest with you, it's not my favorite project. I love the project. I like the songs on it. But I definitely feel like, we could have made it a little bit better. So that really, fueled us to say, hey, this next album, let's not put an album that we're unsure of. It's like Capitol, the good thing about Capitol is they really allow us to do anything we want to do. So this is the first project where it's almost like a learning lesson. Like, Us was a learning lesson, Misfits too. Every album we try to get better and improve off the last one. So Misfits generation helped us make this album because it's like, all right, what don't we want to do? What do we want to do? And what do people want from us? Like the classic hardcore Social Club fan. What are they looking for us that we've had for 3 or 4 years? And that's kind of the mindset we went into the album, while we were making it.
Yeah, I feel like you guys merged the three of those things perfectly with this.
I think we're one of the first, on the cusp of seeing, some different type of legacies being born. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to see from where we began, to actually see every project level up. And that's what I mean. You can actually see, how we started. Some people didn't take us seriously, and, everything used to be like, hey, social club this, and they doing that. But, nobody really thought that we was really somebody or a group to be reckoned with. And at the end of the day, we just stuck to our message, continued to work on the next project. The next project showed what that was doing, and so on and so forth. And here we are. And it's funny that you say what you were saying when you heard, the Misfit generation, like, here comes a downward spiral. At the end of the day, no, man, listen, we knew that we were just, stretching our elbows out. We were putting on the brand new suit and making sure that all the tailors and all the custom fits were done right on this album. We made sure. But like Marty said, we were able to see, what the temperature was based off the last EP, what people were liking, what they weren't liking, what they weren't feeling. You know what I'm saying? And we take that into consideration, even though we don't care. But we do, man. We love everybody. We want to see what's going on out there. But we always bring our twist to it. We always bring our angle to it. And I think that that's what's brought longevity to Social Club, because regardless of how hip we are to the tunes and how we keep our ear to the street into what's going on with the culture, we always put our twist on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's when Marty mentioned 10 projects, I started thinking in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm not 100% sure it's 10. I guess if you say it's 10. It's 10.
I can label them. I can name them right now.
Count them up. Count them up.
The first one we did was Social Club, Misfit Gang, Wolfpack. We did Misfits. We did the B-sides, which is all the singles that we put together. We put Misfits 2. We put the Us album. We put Marty for President. We put Summer George. We put 6-8 and Douglas. We did the Misfit Generation. And this is our 10th.
True story. You counting the 2 solo EPs. I got it. That definitely makes 10. But that's still, I mean, truthfully, that's a lot of music. And it's amazing that, I mean, truthfully, man, like, you guys haven't peaked as artists creatively or even fan base wise, in my opinion. Like, you're still
I totally agree.
Still on the way up, which, I mean, I think it just says a lot about what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, we're still working on it. I think that, with Capital, I think for any artist that wants to sign, you have to understand that they're going to take you from 60 to 100. And although we didn't like as much the Misfit Generation, all those songs that was getting radio placements, all those songs got huge placements, for different things that we never thought. It was almost like, okay, we didn't really like it, but they all got huge placements, whether it's on radio or TV. So it's almost like, it's kind of funny how music works, like, it's just like that law that it's like, 4 people will like it, 4 people won't like it, and 2 people won't care. It's almost like that, like, even if you didn't like it, it still did what it needed to do. And I feel like now, with this new album, Capital is getting us, like, it's just really fun to work with. And they're doing all the stuff that we never knew how to do as independent artists to make sure that we're engaged with our fans. And it's been working out really fun. And it's nothing like, I always was worried about, like, hey, are we going to have to compromise? Are we going to have to do anything? It's nothing like that. It's very much like, what do you guys want to do? How can we make it bigger?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I want to say real quick, same thing with us. Like, they've allowed us to do, pretty much everything we wanted to do and dreamed up and never changed our vision. Same thing with them. We trust them for being Capital CMG, and we know the position that they play, and also trust them in what they're doing and their vision as well. So the reason that the partnership works so well is that we're both trusting each other and working together at the same time. We're not like falling over each other. Hey, what's going on here? On the contrary, it's always like, hey, great job. Oh man, great move. Oh, this is such a good placement here. It's been moving forward because we've decided. We knew that this is a Jesus move anyway. So we just decided to just go ahead and move in the movement, follow the steps, and know that God has taken us here. He brought us here. He took us here already. And at the end of the day, we've never been the type to just be thirsty for any move like that. So we've always been pretty focused in the moves we make. But with Capital, it's been fun to be able to work with people, share the vision. They're on 10 with us the same way we're on 10. But we trust them, and they trust us. So that's why that thing works, man.
Man, that's great, because I think for when artists who are as established as you guys, oftentimes when they sign with a label, the chemistry isn't there because the artist is so used to doing everything themselves, and they don't know how to come into a corporate environment and really continue to work within that structure while still maintaining their dignity and, you know, their brand and all of that stuff, man. It seems like you guys have really worked hard at, you know, trying to make sure that the marriage is fruitful and, you know, everybody's winning.
You said it perfect. I think that's everything that artists need to understand. You know, like when you get in corporate, it's just different. You know, it's just much different. And so if you can't handle it, you will 100% fail. And the truth is, the best part about our situation is that we didn't need to sign. You know, we could have hired the right people to take us where we needed to go, but we saw more value in having a relationship with one company instead of multiple, you know, side hustle guys that work for us. You know, for our last projects, we always hired, you know, people in the industry to help us out, whether they were with labels or they had a label. We hired them to market the album. You know, we kept leveling up and getting new guys and done a distribution deal and still, you know, just turn in the record. But it's something about Capitol. They just believe in the vision. It's kind of like inspires us to be better, because to see people who, you know, enjoy the record, help, like, anxious to work on it with us, whether it's artwork or, you know, we're working on this new tour coming out, and they want to be like, all right, let's find the analytics to find how many people we can get this tour. And, like, it's just cool that people rally behind it. It reminds me of when, you know, I worked at Nordstrom and you had 30 people working on one thing. You know, I think that's that corporate American mentality that it will either break you or it will make you. And I think that it's broken a lot of great artists that could have gone farther because they just didn't know how to handle it. And it's just a sad thing to see, whether mainstream or Christian.
Hold on a minute, Marty. How come I never knew you worked at Nordstrom, though, bro?
Bro, I worked there for 10 years.
What?
The discount's gone, bro. No more discounts.
I worked there. I was in HR. I was a customer service, customer relationship manager. I was in management. I was in corporate the most of the time.
Okay.
But for the moment that I worked in the store, I worked in the cafe and I worked in shoes. And then from there, I got promoted and just kept going up the food chain. And if Social Club never would have, you know, been something that God,
you would have been CEO of Nordstrom. That's what you're telling us. You would have been CEO.
I probably would have been. By now, I would have been a district manager for sure.
Nice.
I would have had 3 or 4 stores under my belt.
That's killer. That's what's up, though. That's good. That's good, man. You
Having said that, I'm happy Social Club worked out because I would have still been screening. Keep it 1 trillion. Keep it 1 trillion.
You, Marty, man, you had a tweet the other night that brought a huge smile to my face, and I'm gonna read this to you, and I just want to know what prompted it. You said, "How I see it, NF is a lyrical monster. Andy is the best all-around artist. Social Club is the wild card who makes dope vibes. You need us all."
Yeah.
What prompted that?
I think that, well, you know what? This is what prompted it, is that for some reason, only in the Christian market do people view music the way that they do. So you have mainstream where you have Travis Scott, right?
Sure.
No one ever says, wow, Travis Scott is a lyrical genius. His lyrics are so amazing. They're always like, he's the guy who makes dope, innovative music, you know? And so for some reason in Christian music, I think because Christian music almost, especially hip-hop, had almost a pyramid. You know, it was like Lecrae was at top, and then, you know, Andy's up top, and then you have people trickling down. It's almost like everybody's being judged by that standard instead of understanding, like, if we don't open our minds and realize that more artists are going to come, we won't be successful as a genre if we don't understand that we have to treat it almost like mainstream. Like, every artist brings their own value to the table. So I'm saying, you know, NF, he's if you want the lyrics, you want like hardcore, like real, like that crazy vibe, he's the one for that. If you want like Andy, who could sing, rap, produce, you know, do everything himself, he's amazing with that. But if you want an unorthodox, you don't know what you're gonna get, but then you know it's gonna be something crazy, wild. We're gonna, you know, like there's certain bands like us that, you know, it's like Led Zeppelin, right? So Led Zeppelin they'll have breaks in their music where they go salsa, you know, or they break it like country, you know, like there's certain groups that you just can't put your finger on because they're always doing something new. That's how we always wanted to be seen, you know. you could see Wu-Tang doing a rock album or going on tour with a hardcore, screamo, because Wu-Tang, or go to like a festival with like, the whitest people you've ever met, because Wu-Tang brings what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
So I feel like in our industry, if we don't start understanding that every artist has value, and not saying, hey, you can only like one artist, we're gonna fail, because that's not how you value something. You don't compare it. Comparing is not a good way to value an artist. And so I'm just saying, because we've been seeing comments, like very few, but certain people are like, hey, I didn't even hear the album, but I don't like it. I'm like, you're an idiot. You are a complete fool. And I'm saying, like, you're crazy. And listen to it, then make an opinion. If you don't like it, it's okay. It's not for you. This is a misfit thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of was trying to break that mindset that are in people. And unfortunately, it's not in a lot of people, so sometimes people don't understand that. But people with that old religious, I like, I listened to Reach while I was growing up, and that's all I have. That's all they see, So you have to be able to say there's more artists coming, more artists that are going to bring something to the table, and you have to respect it. That's what it is. It's just respect it. That's it.
I feel like the three of y'all should go on tour. The four of you.
Oh yeah, Andy, and almost happened. Almost happened.
What stopped it?
Almost happened. You know what? NF already is like selling out 3,500 people like auditoriums.
Yep.
Andy's already selling out 2,000-3,000 auditoriums as well. So for us, in certain parts of the country, I think we can do it. But I think that it comes down to understanding, like, we have to be able to, at Social Club, this is our thought, we want to be able to get there. And so what is that going to take to get our hard ticket value up? So now we're working on doing that. But it was just too much happening, and I think just too many things happening. Albums didn't come out on time, and so they just put it on the table. It was a good idea, a good 10-city tour, which made people go crazy, but it wasn't in the brand. Like NF, he wants to build something new, and Andy wants to build something new, and so do we. So I think eventually we'll do something special. Like when we were in New York, Andy came out and was hanging out with and performed with us while we were on the NF tour. So I think that obviously we all know each other. Obviously we're all friends, and it could happen, but it's all about the right timing.
That's right.
What happened with you and Andy? Why'd you guys end up canceling some of those dates? Like I felt like that was finna be humongous, and obviously that Houston show was like ginormous.
It's all timing, man. It was gonna happen. It was a good look and all that, but it was just all timing and logistics, man. Everybody's got to be like. There's a lot of people involved now in the days too. We all got families. Everything got to line up. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to stand out. But having said that, I think he worked out that he's going to do something annually, definitely at least in the state of Houston. If not, do some friends and family on his side of the brand. But you never know, man. Like I said, man, we always talk. We're always thinking. We're always dreaming. And I wouldn't put it past it that at some point, before we're 50 and do a Legends tour of Andy and Essence. Hopefully we can
greatest hit tour.
And then we'll do it later, like Boyz II Men, New Kids on the Block, and you know what I'm saying? But,
and I think that we were supposed to, remember, Fern, I think we were also supposed to drop our album originally in October. This album was supposed to be in October, which thank God it didn't, because we ended up adding 2 more songs to it. But this album was supposed to come out in October. I think Andy was supposed to come out around that time as well. So everything was going to line up perfect. But then, logistically, I think it just didn't work out the way that we wanted it to be, whether, everyone getting paid or just getting the right venues and having enough time to promote them. So, our mentality is if you do it right. You do it excellent. And if it's not that way, it's better just to fall back and then do it again later. So luckily, we still got to do Houston, which is the biggest city of all on the tour. And I think down the road, we're going to make something happen. I know that in the spring, we're with KB, which is great. We've been with KB before. And I think that, we'll go on another Andy tour. We'll go on another NF tour. Whatever happens, it's just, it all has to be right timing, like Fern said.
Man, you guys, let me tell you something. The way you guys move, just from a humility standpoint, is really encouraging as well, because you guys are established enough that some people would say, man, y'all should just do y'all's own tours all the time and never hop on other people's tours. But it every time I hear you guys talking about being a part of someone else's tour, you're as excited about it as you are talking about your own tour. And that
We've never been afraid to be second. Never. Having said that, we never play second fiddle.
Sure.
But we've never been afraid to be second and be there with our brothers during their moment. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't take away from us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Especially when it comes to this. We look at KB. I mean, that's one of the big guys coming up that I like to watch as a father and as a guy who's balanced in ministry and life as well. So, you know, he's an inspiration to me. So, you know, I always root for people like that at the end of the day. So to be able to partner up with a tour like that, I mean, it brings nothing but joy because we know it's going to win. We're coming to win. We know KB's coming to win. You know, so the people are going to get an experience. They're going to see it because we're coming. This is surreal to us. We're not taking this for granted. We're not like, yo, we've been on tour, like, oh, this is how it goes, and you know, put your shirt over here, and like, no, none of that. Like, we're not used to any of this. We know what to do with them, why. But as far as the experience, it's always brand new with us, man. So the fans and the family, like we like to call them, they're going to get the whole wrath of it. We're coming through.
Yo, I feel like you guys are like the last group in hip-hop right now. Like, everybody wants to be solo artists, man.
Yeah, everyone wants to be solo artists. But the funny thing is that when me and Fern started, we were solo artists. Like,
right.
We were getting ready to do stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to just do it because it's not working out. Let's make a group because we need money. Like, that was never the motivation at all. It's just kind of like we just had a good synergy and it just started working out right. And, I think that a lot of, and this is just my personal opinion, and Fern understands, like, me and Fern, we talk, first off, all the time. We're always brainstorming, always with the idea of pie. I think that the thing that makes us great is that between me and Fern, we have an understanding of what each of us does, like duties-wise. Like, we both have our own roles in the group, and we both understand the brand and where we want to go. And so the vision is there. So when the vision's there, it makes things a lot easier. That's number one. But then when we, you know, like, Fern handles all the merch. A lot of people don't know that. Fern is the one who gets the designs going, gets everything going together. Like, Fern we both play different parts. And so I think a lot of artists, you know, it's like when they join groups, it's almost like, who are they going to either outdo each other, or the business is not right, or there's something, you know, there's a lot of conversations, hard conversations that people need to understand. And it's not for everybody. People can't handle being on a group. I think that between me and Fern, we've established ourselves where we could go solo if we wanted to, but we still choose to do Social Club because there's people and there's fans and there's things that we want to accomplish as a group that no one has done yet. And so we're on that path, and I think that it's exciting to see. It's exciting to be a part of, and I feel like people want to be a part of it. I think that this year is going to be a real legendary year. I want us to win some awards for this album. I can't wait to see first week numbers. You know, like, this almost feels like our first album. You know, and so It's funny because it's our first album. It's almost our first album because it's our first real debut 15-song album. It's not just 10 songs. But it's like our debut album. We're back on the bottom of the totem pole. Having said that, we have our own tour. We're booked a year in advance. And, you know, we have a catalog of over 150 songs. It's like this is what it took to make it almost overnight with 10 projects, 100 songs, and, you know, all our paperwork and everything correct. So it's a part of the journey, and we're trying to level up. This next album, we want to be in the place where we can do a 20-city tour. Like, we set goals for us, and there's a vision in line, and the vision definitely comes down to, you know, reaching people where they're at with Jesus. And I think that's, like, it breaks apart into many different things and goals, but the main focus of what we do is reaching people, you know, and so having conversations that might be difficult about God and, you know, about yourself and about your identity. So it all plays together, and it's something that we always talk about, and it's a part of the mission. You know, we know what we are supposed to do.
Sure. Let me I want to make sure we talk about this before we have to go. What are you guys' thoughts on, you know, we're going to have a new president tomorrow. I guess by the time everybody hears this interview, we will have a new
president. Forgot.
But you know, what are you guys' thoughts on that, man?
Real quick, I just want to say one thing, man, and it's funny because I've been sharing this thought. I caught it bits and pieces on the news. This thought came to me. I heard somebody say it, and I've been saying it. And then I never post too much on the internet or anything. But then I seen somebody else post it finally. Then I seen Dr. Ben Carson post today. But it's real relative. So I'm gonna leave it this like. And we're frequent flyers too, me and Martin. So I say like wanting our president to fail. You probably seen the quote. It's like wanting a pilot to crash the plane that we're all on. At the end of the day, we all have different stakes in this, but at the end, we should all have the same result: love, unity, working for it to do, for the new result what we need in this country. So what I'm saying is we gotta fall in place for the democracy's sake of the country and just back up our leaders, back up the leaders. At the end of the day, we got to pray for them. We got to go ahead and hold them accountable, but we can't want them to fail. We can't continue to stand in the way of it. At the end of the day, holding accountable and using our voices and using our platforms to go ahead and make sure that these things happen correctly, I'm all for that. But I don't feel that we need to stand in the way. I feel we need to honor our leaders, even though if we're not necessarily in agreement said in the past, but honor the position and honor the title, because even our Lord told us that. So, that's what I'm at with it. I'm going to go ahead and honor the title of the president because I want the best for my country as a citizen and as a person who loves God and loves people. I want the best for this country.
Yeah,
so, that's right.
Absolutely. I agree. I think that there's nothing that we can do. I think it's always funny how, people are trying to stop the presidency. It's going to happen. It is what it is. And let's just, you know what? You don't have enough, the thing, this is what I love about democracy, right? The thing about democracy is that not everybody wins, but everybody wins. It's and I guess the best way to explain it is democracy is we have all these different people, and what I like and what they like might be totally different. So we might get a little bit of what I like, a little bit of what they like, and at the same time, you have to work and compromise because we live in a society. So it's it can't be one-sided. Hey, I get what I want, and then another side. Hey, I get what I want. We have to live we live in a democracy where you get some of the things you want, and then some things I might not like, but that's just a democracy. It's not one-sided. So I think it's important for us as a country to, number one, Fern said, keep our leaders accountable. I think that's the thing that we need to do, and then on top of that, I think keeping, ourselves accountable. The change begins in us too. It's not up to, if you think that the president is going to save the world, you're nuts. You're crazy. Jesus is the only one who can save this world, but he gave us some commandments, and those commandments are pray for our leaders. As much as we don't like it, we have to pray for our leaders and hope that God is still in control and could still move his heart if we wanted it to. It's simple biblical principles that I think that we need to adhere to. And I think that I'm praying for our country. I think that a lot of people are unsure, but I'm praying for my country and doing something about it. I think there's a scripture in Proverbs where it talks about, God controls the heart of the king. So we have a president. So hopefully God can control the heart of our, I believe in that. I have faith that God can do that. And, no one knows what's going to happen. That's another thing. So it's until the rooster has hatched the eggs, don't make a decision on if it's a boy or girl, or the chicken or whatever. I don't know that phrase, but you know what I'm saying.
We got to want the best. We want the best. We want the president to succeed. We want him to do the best he can with what he has. And at the end of the day, God bless Barack Obama and his family on their transition out as well. And we want the best for them as well. But we want the best for the country moving forward. God bless America. God bless America.
That's what it is, man. Social Club Misfits, the new album, The Misadventures of Fern Marty, is out right now. And you guys' tour starts February 11th?
11th, we're going to be in Dallas. I think we're almost completely sold out.
Nice.
We're excited about that. We have 6 dates. We'll be with Gavi, and then we have some really cool individual spot dates that we're working on, like Houston and a couple spots that we couldn't fit in directly with the tour. So we have some great things coming. Then we have a KB tour coming, and then we have some. This year is going to be fun. We're just trying to be as fun as many people as we can, and push this album. So
yeah, look out for us. We're coming by, man. Hey, is Miss Wado gonna bring down the plate like Mama Tigger?
Man,
Mama Wado bring it down.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, let me tell y'all, man. You guys are gonna be right around the corner from me in March in Elizabeth.
Jersey, right?
Jersey.
Yeah. The only problem is I'm gonna be in Atlanta that day. So I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna be back in time for the tour. We still trying to work that out so I could be there. But
if you're there, man, we'll grab some coffee, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Well, yo, appreciate you guys, man, and you know, just always wishing you guys the best, praying for y'all, and excited for y'all for 2017.
Yeah, God bless, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Likewise, my brother. God bless.
On the Wado Radio Show. On the Wado Radio. On the Wado Radio Show. Where it's much more than music, it's ministry.